Okay, so you've really done it now. You finished as a nurse, you went back to school, finished as a nurse practitioner, you've walked across the stage, and now what? Hi everybody, this is NaturallyGreer, and I am coming to you with a collab video that I decided to do with my new friend, NurseNacole. I found her on YouTube. She's a very informative nurse. Right now she's going through a program to be certified as an advanced practice registered nurse with a concentration, I think it's acute care / family nurse practitioner. And when I started watching some of her videos and stuff, I just kind of messaged her and just was like, you know, I'm interested in kind of like exploring this kind of with you since I'm already a nurse practitioner. And she was like, cool, let's do a collab. And you know, so when we decided to do this, I took on, like I said, the role of expressing or showing how a nurse practitioner functions. Now that is different based on what city, state, or region you work in. So I'm going to be speaking specifically from, I guess, the southern states. I live in Louisiana, so you know, everywhere has different laws as far as nurse practitioners are involved. So some people in certain states don't have as much autonomy, and autonomy just means how much leeway you have to work with within your license. So how much you can do within your license. So you have to see what your state will allow for a nurse practitioner. And you can go to a lot of sites to do so. I'll put a couple of sites below, or one main site that I've used before below, that helps you know whether as a nurse practitioner you have autonomy to do certain things or practice a certain way or have prescriptive authority or be able to prescribe certain narcotics and things like that in the area. So that's very important when you start your search on whether you're going to pick this track or not as a more advanced nurse goes. So I'll say that. I wrote a couple of things down, so I will be looking. So what is a nurse practitioner? A nurse practitioner is a lot of things. A nurse practitioner is basically an advanced practice registered nurse, which means that basically we go back to school, we do more theory, we do more clinicals, we do more research, and we get a master's or a doctorate. Now well, by 2015, everybody I think has to be acclimated towards the doctorate type program. So, you know, once again, that's based on your region and when you get into school, what track you can kind of follow. So do your research before you begin. Nurse practitioners basically focus on health promotion and illness prevention. So, you know, when we have patients, we want to manage their care with an increased type of responsibility, and also, like I said, an increased amount of autonomy. There's multiple fields or multiple specialties that a nurse practitioner can go into. One of the fields that I was considering when I first started was CRNA, and that's basically a certified registered nurse anesthetist, and they are the ones who put you to sleep when you have surgery. You can also specialize in like OBGYN, geriatrics, pediatrics. There's also some acute care tracks that I think NurseNacole is doing, and then also as a family nurse practitioner. We can work in a multitude of settings. We can work in hospitals, clinics, private practices. A lot of nurse practitioners down here work in nursing homes and assisted living family type situations. So there are a wide array of places where a nurse practitioner is found useful. Of course, there's an increase, you know, and it depends. It depends on state, city, region. I mean, a lot of factors. Experience, years of experience. It could be a lot of things that decide your salary. So what I found online from just looking at, just typing into Google, you know, salary of nurse practitioners kind of thing, basically the median is around 95, and it can range from 80,000 like beginners to like $115,000 for like people who are advanced, who have specialties and things like that. I think it's the Bureau of Labor did a census in May of 2012, and they decided the top cities where nurse practitioners make the most, and it's like Alaska, Hawaii, Oregon, Massachusetts, and New Jersey. So if you live there already, or you're thinking about moving there, those are perfect cities to go. But you know, you just have to do your research and see, you know, where you want to be, what do you want to do, what concentration you want to take up, and then decide. I would say any experience you can have that maximizes the amount of autonomy that you can have as a nurse. So I was an ER nurse for about 3 years before I went on this track as a nurse practitioner, and that to me was the best for me because, you know, we had an algorithm already worked out. When we saw patients come in, we had protocols already worked out. I knew why I was doing what with the patient. I knew what I needed to do to stabilize that patient, kind of thing. It really helped me think more independently being in the ER. You have a lot of autonomy. You have a lot of ability to see what's going on with the patient and be able to manipulate their care somewhat to help and benefit that person. So not to say that, you know, a nurse off of a med-surg floor or a nurse that just did pediatrics is not going to thrive as a nurse practitioner. I'm just saying what I experienced and what worked for me and what I saw work for other people. I always think of nurse to NP as being going from a service type industry to a management type industry, if that makes any sense. So service means that you're going from taking orders, processing those orders, making sure it fits into that situation and carrying through with those orders, to going to like a management, like I said, position where you're basically actually taking information from either the patient or your assessment, processing it, deciding on a plan of action, giving orders, and managing the care of that person. So, and that could be management as far as long-term or acute. That's kind of how I see the difference between the two. So there are two types of, I guess, certifications that you can get as a nurse practitioner. There's AANP and ANCC. I am certified as an AANP nurse practitioner, which is an American Association of Nurse Practitioners. That's who I'm certified. That's who my license is through. ANCC stands for the American Nurses Credentialing Center. So an ANP is more based off of someone who plans on practicing, and ANCC is one who plans on going into teaching and management. And the reason why I say that is because from one of the articles that I read, basically they said that ANCC typically has a higher percentage of questions focused on professional issues such as healthcare policy and ethics. And those things you will find mainly on a teaching level or management type of level. So, so study guides. There are a lot of study guides out there. There are some that are worth it, and there are some that are not. The course that I chose was the one that was more familiar in the South. A lot of people talked about it. A lot of people had taken it, and that was APEA, and it's owned and managed by a woman known as Amelie Holler. Hope I said her last name right, Amelie Holler. So I think that's all. You know, as a summation of everything, I will say, you know, being a nurse practitioner is great. Check into guidelines and as far as your state goes, or your region or city. Do your research, talk to other nurse practitioners, talk to other nurses, talk to teachers and things like that in order to see what you want to do as far as your advancement goes, and how to pick your route or what course of action you're going to take to get there. Yeah, just care. I mean, you know, don't lose that sense of caring. Remember that a patient is a person too, and just care for them. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like below. I hope you comment below. Check into Nurse Nacole's Collab part over here. I think I'll put it, yes, right here. I'll put it right here. And check you later. Bye. Okay guys, so I hope you truly enjoyed this video. I may be doing another video, like a continuation of nurse practitioner or what to expect in the real world. So comment below and let me know if you'd like to see that. And don't forget to check out Nurse Nacole and all of her fabulousness on her channel. And yes, Nacole, it was me. Robin Thicke was talking about me.